Lily, have you ever thought about what would happen if a plane lost both of its engines?
Wait, both engines? At the same time? That can't happen, right?
You'd think so. But that's exactly what happened to a flight carrying 155 people. And the craziest part? It happened just a few minutes after takeoff.
Wow, that sounds really dangerous.
It was. And what happened next became one of the most famous stories in aviation history. A plane had just left New York City. Everything seemed completely normal. Passengers were relaxing, flight attendants were doing their usual work. And then, something slammed into the plane.
Something?
Yes, a flock of birds. A really large flock. A few seconds later, both engines stopped working.
Oh my gosh, what happened next?
At that moment, the pilots knew they had a serious problem. The plane was still climbing. It had only been in the air for a few minutes, and now both engines were gone. Inside the cabin, most passengers had no idea what was happening. Some were reading, some were talking, others were looking out the window. But in the cockpit, things were very different. The captain quickly realized there wasn't enough time to return to the airport.
So they couldn't go back?
No. There wasn't enough altitude. There wasn't enough time. The pilots had to make a decision, and they had to make it fast. The captain's name was Chesley Sullenberger.
So what was the plan?
That's the incredible part. He didn't have many options. Instead of trying to reach an airport, Sully looked down. The Hudson River. A long river. At that moment, it was the only option he had.
A river? Are you serious?
Yes. It was extremely risky. One mistake, and 155 people could have lost their lives. But Sully stayed calm. He spoke with air traffic control. They suggested nearby airports, but Sully knew he wouldn't make it. The plane was losing altitude. Every second mattered. There was no time to waste. Then Sully made his decision. He said, "We're going to be in the Hudson."
Wait, he didn't panic?
Not at all. His voice stayed calm. And that's exactly what everyone needed, a calm pilot, not a scared one. Then, the river was getting closer. Passengers looked out the windows. Some finally realized what was happening. The water was right below them. The plane kept descending, lower and lower. And then, the plane touched the water. The impact was hard, but the plane stayed together. It didn't break apart, and it didn't sink immediately. For a few seconds, nobody moved. Everyone was in shock. Then people realized something incredible. They were alive.
Wow, everyone survived the landing?
They did, but they still weren't safe. The plane was floating in freezing water. Passengers quickly moved toward the exits. Some climbed onto the wings. Others waited for rescue boats. The water was freezing cold. People knew they didn't have much time. Fortunately, boats nearby saw the plane, and they rushed to help. Within a short time, everyone was rescued.
Wow, that's incredible. I can't believe everyone made it.
I know. The world called it the miracle on the Hudson.
You know, I don't think I'll ever look at airplanes the same way again.
I know. But whenever I think about this story, I don't think about fear. I think about hope.
That was such a great story. I guess that's the end.
Yep, that's the end. Well, friends, practice today's English conversation using the AI prompt in the description. See you in the next episode.
See you soon!